Yo, what it do? It's your boy, N8Deuce, and we back in this thing with another vlog. Let's talk about it. Yes, sir. And today, man, shout out to my man Stan, bruh, because, you know what I'm saying, you threw it in the comments. I told you, man, tell me something to talk about, and I'm going to try to speak on it from my perspective. I'm going to be honest with you. When it come down to the Diddy thing, man, I haven't really been following the trials, but I do have my own kind of opinion on everything. So it's funny that you asked that, Stan, man. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to stay to myself with certain things. That might be one of them on a regular basis. People ask me, how you feel about Diddy? You know what I'm saying? And what's going on? Honestly, I'll be like, no comment. Because like I said, I don't really follow the trials. I don't even know what happened as far as why he got sentenced, as far as what he's charged with, or guilty on, I should say. I remember the allegations and things like that. But I'm going to just take it all the way back, to be honest. So I'm going to speak on what I know and how what my thoughts are based on the knowledge I have of the situation with Diddy. One thing I can tell you, man, Diddy was always, you know what I'm saying, that he was one of them ones, you know what I'm saying, as far as the music industry goes, as far as the impression on hip hop. I'm real big into hip hop, super hip hop head, you know what I'm saying. I grew up hip hop. If you don't know me, a lot of people don't know me, as far as the internet go, but you know, my pops, I was born in New York. My pops lived there still to this day, you know what I'm saying. Born and raised in there, you know what I'm saying. Never left, ain't never leaving as far as it looked like. But at the same time, I got a lot of roots when it come down to New York, you know what I'm saying. New York roots. And by the way, we out here in the country right now, man. My real upbringing as far as, you know, I was raised in North Carolina. But because of that, going back and forth, I was always excited about, you know, hip hop in New York, man. It was a whole thing in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, you walking down the city, everybody got their tapes laid out. Somebody selling their tapes to you. You know what I'm saying? You might see somebody having a battle in the park. Like, oh, this is real life. Like, I seen through my eyes before, you know, we had these devices that can show us what's happening everywhere else. Before the internet, before any of that, I was seeing it, you know what I mean? And I was just always, you know, kind of excited about it. So when I think of hip hop, I can't, you know, Diddy comes up. You feel what I'm saying? That whole Bad Boy run, him and Mace, man. And yo, bruh, like, Bad Boys was throughout the time, you know what I'm saying? They was still hot. You know, I remember in high school, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, Jeezy started getting hot. Then, you know what I'm saying? What's my man's Ace Hood and all them boys, you know, they started coming out, and Bad Boys started throwing they mix in there with it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know, if you know hip hop history, you know what I'm talking about. So it was like, yo, they was prevalent, or relevant, I should say, throughout hip hop's history. Hip hop ain't nothing but like 20 some years old. So at the same time, he's like a cornerstone. So when I look at the situation, man, like I said, I just gotta call it what it is from what I see, man. You know, the greats get torn down at one point, for one reason or another. Most times it's because of some sort of opposing position with the powers up higher, you know what I'm saying, the agenda. I'm one of them guys, man, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist, you feel what I'm saying? Cause there ain't no conspiracies. It's things that happen. And if you wanna, you know, stay asleep. But if you wanna wake up and see what's happening, man, don't act like you don't see it, you know. But at the same time, we talking about Diddy. And with this case, you know, everybody goes back to the Cassie thing. And I know that it goes back further than that, you know, from my personal research. He had a situation going on with the, you know, the big alcohol company way over somewhere else, which operates in almost every country in the world. He took them to court because they were discriminating against him as far as his product, and they weren't, it's kind of like the algorithm conversation, right? They weren't pushing it enough, but also when they did push it, they was using, I I'm gonna say, you know, they were using like racist marketing tools, but you know, they were trying to make his product, he said they made it look ghetto. And as far as, you know, Diddy with Ciroc, that's in every corner of the earth, from, you know, the parties in the sheds and shit, you know what I'm saying, to the ballroom joints and, you know, big events like that. I've seen it in all stages. They gonna have some Ciroc, you feel what I'm saying? So he felt like they was trying to confine him to the hip hop community as far as his cognac went. And, you know, hey, obviously he won the case, and that was the crazy part, because most of the time when you sue or go at something like that, you usually settle. They don't usually go to trial and go in your favor. And he also had signed a contract with the company that he couldn't take him to trial. And that's the part that's mind-blowing, and that's what really alarmed me. Like, okay, we made you sign a contract that you can't say nothing about what we doing when it comes to marketing. Here we are in court. And then he won, you know, umpteen whatever money he got. It ain't about the money, y'all. It's about the fact that you won. And, you know, I'm in no way, shape, or form racist at all. But every nationality tends to stand together as far as when they face adversity. So I stand with my people, you know, just on principle. And as far as it goes, you know, when a black man do something like that, you best believe they coming for you. And, you know, go through the timeline of events. Next thing you know, Cassie coming out. And that was a big part of the public's outrage of, yeah, you know, Diddy need to go down. But that wasn't what he was in court for. And I think as the public, we were forgetting that part, or the narrative was being pushed on us, you know what I'm saying? Because it's propaganda everywhere, especially now with this, you know, social media age and AI. So when it comes down to it, you having thoughts that probably ain't even originally yours. But that's why I say, like, I don't follow stuff because I don't like the propaganda, so I didn't follow the trial. But however, I know he got sentenced to 4 years or something like that. Y'all, my bad. That was a interruption, kind of like a crash when I'm recording my content. But, you know, back to the subject, I don't think it was fair. Sometimes you get thrown in the spotlight and held responsible in different ways than, I'm gonna say, normal people would have been. Because for me, once we saw the Cassie thing, he was guilty for everybody, for everything else. And some of those charges didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? He was just having his freak offs, man. I think the parties involved, if they was willing, then it's cool. As far as if they won't, then that's something different. Like I said, I didn't follow it, so I don't know what the exact allegation was. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, people tend to want to blame him, or they just wanted it to happen because of how they felt about the thing with him and Cassie. And in no way, shape, or form am I condoning what he did to her, but I don't think anybody deserves to be locked up for something they didn't do, especially coming from the standpoint of being in that position before myself. Like I said, you know, I speak for me and my people, and as a black man, it's real easy to get thrown in on whatever, you know what I mean? Like I said, speaking for myself, there was a situation where, you know, I had to do what I had to do, and yeah, it was let's just say it was in violation of the law. However, at the end of the day, after so long, it got thrown out, you know, but I had to go through so much to get to that point, you know, lost my job because of it, things like that, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole thing, you know, it affected a lot, and it could have been dismissed in the beginning, it could have been thrown out from the gate, you know what I'm saying? But I had to spend money and, you know, lawyer up, you know what I'm saying? But that's life, you know what I mean? As far as it goes, being an African American. So when you at the level that Diddy is at, you best believe there's some people who don't want you there, and they don't care what happens to you. So my take on the whole situation is, once he comes out of it, nobody's gonna want to do nothing with him. Hold on, y'all. Like I said, I'm somewhere crazy. Yeah, stuff flying in my mouth. Yeah, I'm at my family's property, just renting it out. By the way, got that handled. But this is my grandfather built his house. He built a lot of stuff, so it's all in the family. And we out here in the country, y'all. Like I told y'all, North Carolina, I be all over this mug. But out here, let's just say, you black. If you black, they're gonna let you know. But that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying with him. My thing is this: whenever something like that happens, people gonna want to distance themselves from him. A lot of business has already been lost. A lot of business won't happen because of his ties to this case, and now also ties to the, because of the conviction. Like, he was actually convicted, and he's got to serve time sentence. So, man, I was joking with my, my brother DJ Bruce Wayne and shit the other day, and I'm like, yo, man, once this is over, when he comes home, if somebody's like, yo, I might go to Diddy house, everybody gonna look at him crazy, and that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that nigga put out a lot of good music. He's a producer, bruh, and he did it on a level that not a lot of people can do it. So like I said, he's definitely a cornerstone in the industry. But now, somebody out there looking for their shot, for their, their moment or whatever. And if it come across him, they might think 2, 3, 4 times and be like, nah, I just can't, because of the fear of the propaganda and what they put as far as our ideal Diddy at this point. So that they tarnished him forever. And that's my takeaway from it, man. I think a lot of it was done to bring him down, assassinate his character. We look at the shit that he's doing and what they put out, and like, oh, this dude's wild and da-da-da-da. My whole thing is, trust me, this is happening other places too, bro. Diddy ain't the only one, and Diddy wasn't the first one. Diddy didn't create this. I feel like this was something somebody up higher controlled more than Diddy did, and he was the face of it. And how often does the face of it get assassinated? So at the end of the day, I can't really tell you it was wrong or right for him to get sentenced, because I don't know what the proof was and the charge that he got convicted of that gave him the 4 years. But I still look at it the way I look at it. For this to even start in the beginning, I feel like he was kind of set up. And as a black man, I feel for him in that way. But people get mad that people get caught up on certain things, but the fact of the matter is, if you're guilty, you're guilty. You know what I'm saying? If you did wrong, like I said, if he was forcing people and stuff like that, hey man, that shit ain't cool, bro. And I'm not standing with nobody because of their skin color. I'm just saying on the principle of being given the same opportunity for justice as everyone else. Oftentimes, us as black people, we don't get that same justice. So, I look at it kind of half and half. You know what I mean? Keep your head up, he'll be all right. This man is a billionaire. 4 years, you coming home to billions of dollars. I'm not gonna say I don't feel bad for you, because anybody on the inside, you gotta know they it's a jungle in there, and you got different rules. It's a whole different world, so stay safe. But at the end of the day, if you're guilty, you gotta sit down and do your time. But it's a shame how it seems that they kind of target our black stars nowadays. When Bill Cosby went to jail, I knew that was like, they don't have no limits now. Not saying what he did or anything like that. I'm just saying that man was old, bruh. and they put him in prison. That man was blind. You know what I mean? So at that point, nobody's safe. But like I said, man, that's all I can give you. I apologize, Stan, if I ain't going deep enough for you, but I don't know too much more of the facts. And of course, we can continue this conversation elsewhere. You already know, Stan. Shout out to everybody, man, who follow my content, who be fucking with me in the chats, who be in the wolf pack, who be in the discords. Y'all know who y'all is, man, and we all cool, man. Like I said in the chat, man, it's like family around here, man. So outside of that, I'm gonna be back another time with another vlog. You already know, and I appreciate y'all for tapping in, liking, commenting, sharing your thoughts on it. Like I said, man, if you look at the numbers, I just want to point this out before I go. If you look at the numbers from the last vlog, how the stuff on my page is doing, me and the algorithm still at it. So you just know I ain't letting up, man. I ain't getting discouraged or nothing. I really don't feel no type of way. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta take your emotions out of things sometimes, man. Stop thinking with that and start thinking with this, and you'll go a lot further, man. But appreciate y'all, man. And like I said, man, let me know if it's something else you want me to tap on, but I will be back. I don't know if I'm gonna do one later today or what, but I'm coming with another topic. Stuff just be hitting me randomly, man, and I appreciate this time as well. So yeah, man, catch y'all on the next go round. It's your boy N8Deuce signing off with Insomnia Cartel. Got that dope shit, keep you up all night, and I'm slipping. You heard me, but fuck it. All right, man, peace.
Insomnia Cartel.